Okay.
When our platoon went somewhere,
Yeah.
I knew that Tony
okay.
Cortez and Bleichner were there, and we knew that we were the best.
Okay.
No doubt about it. And everybody else, unfortunately, told us we were the best because they didn't want any damn part of it. So you know that when we were going up a ravine on Okinawa,
Yeah.
I know that Tony Cortez was there, right there with me, and I know that George Bleichner was there because we trusted each other, and we knew what to look for, and we were more observant, more alert, and we knew that everybody was counting on us because we'd gotten them through whatever. On Guam, there we were on Okinawa doing much the same thing up ravines and crevices. This is as good a time as any to put on tape that story about the fact that we did not line up shoulder to shoulder and kind of go in a straight line because the countryside was so full of ravines and crevices and so on. And the one time I remember still being very cautious and stressful, expecting the roof to fall in any hour during the day or night, of running into a major enemy force. We were on patrol, and we were just going up into a long ravine that might have been a mile long, stream running down the middle, very steep wooded sides on both sides. We were on a path, a little trail halfway up one side. I was a sergeant, so I must have been in charge of one of the platoons of the company. So we were going up that way, and I was up towards the front, maybe not the front guy, but I might have been third or fourth from the front, and we were going around every corner through the woods as carefully as we could. Anyhow, some guy pointed out on the opposite slope, which was only just, 50 yards away, but it went way down to the stream and way up, and there he was over there. There was a native over there on the trail on the opposite side of the ravine. And when our guy shouted back to me, just, hey man, there's a gook, and this guy, he saw us or heard us, and there we are looking at him, let's say from 50 yards away, which is an easy rifle shot. And he didn't have on any military clothing that I remember, but he ran, and he ran forwards the same way we were going, and he ran on his side of the ravine up that way and disappeared around the corner, and we knew we were in trouble because maybe he was the lookout, and for all we knew, why there was 50,000 Japanese around that corner up in this ravine, and he ran up, and he came running back just a minute later before we even decided what we were going to do about it. Should we rush up there, or should we start digging a foxhole and expecting a major attack and everything else? Why, he came running back down on his side of the steep ravine. There he was, just 50 yards over there, and he came running back this way. And as I remember, there must have been 10 of our guys, my guys, who looked to me to tell them whether we should just blast him to smithereens, or should we let him keep running, or what should we do?
Yeah.
He had on some khaki clothing, but he didn't carry any arms that we could see. But who knows what he was or who he was? But he was frightened out of his gourd there, so he not only came running back down the trail, but then he started scrambling up his side of the hill, above his path, started going straight up towards the peak of the ridge. We didn't want him to go over that ridge, and then we'd never see him again.
Yeah.
So the guys were shouting at me, shall we get him now? Now? Come on, or now? And I finally just said, hey, can't let that guy get over that hill now. So because we were spread out so long, kind of every 3 feet, I'll bet you there were along a 200 or 300 yard trail on our side. Every guy took a shot at it, and just a 10-foot circle around him just exploded. I mean, the leaves and the grass on him, and our side down to the stream was so steep that it was impossible for us to send a guy straight down to the stream and up the other side to go over and look at what this guy had on him. Mm-hmm. So we sent 2 or maybe 3 guys all the way back the way we'd come to a point where they could cross over. Mm-hmm. And they crossed over, and we sat right there, everybody huddling behind trees. We didn't know what was going to come next. And they finally came up the opposite side, screaming to make sure that we knew that they were on our side, because we were there's 50 guys right there with their finger on their trigger, and these guys are on the other side there. Anyhow, they came up and they looked over what they could and found out that he just had a minimal amount of military importance. Obviously, he had been scrounging souvenirs the same way we had. I mean, like maybe he had a pistol, but it wasn't like his. Yeah. He picked it off of some injured or dead Japanese soldier. So. But that one little incident stuck in my mind just for so long because of the burden, I guess, of the decision of should you nail that guy because of the potential that he could do you great bodily harm, not me personally, but everybody on our side of this creek there, Right. You just didn't know. And that was his, I'm sorry, that's the way you got to act. Right. Because if he had done what we suspected him of doing, of running up forward around the bend and telling some Japanese armed element that we were coming, why, he could have done us a lot of harm.
Yeah, it could have been all your lives.
You talk about stress and being careful. Boy, we went on up that ravine, that canyon, but boy, were we careful. And nothing happened. And there again, we were just left again with a feeling of not having accomplished anything other than just winding the string up in each one of us a little bit tighter, kind of. We knew something was going to happen, and we thought it was going to be right there, and I think some guys would have been real pleased if something had happened there and got it over with,
Right.
Can you imagine what happens when you see something and somebody tells you, go ahead, blast them?
Yeah, right.
Man, just 5,000 rounds of ammunition goes off in a minute because everybody was so trigger happy. So that's the way the war was, which is too bad because he might have just been just a plain native. I guess he was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, really truly,
I don't think you had much
I
choice.
had no other choice at all.
Yeah.
If I had said let him go, and we'd have been ended up like General Custer or something, what a poor choice that would have been. Obviously, why he was frightened to death. He panicked. That's what happened. He panicked. If he stood over there and talked to us, or this or that, or said, "I'll be right over," and I'll climb down and come up over, and you can look what you want, take what you want, or something like that, would have been a different story. But he ran. That's too bad.
Yeah.